Welcome back, everyone. So I found a couple pumps on the electronic gold mine. They were on sale. I got 2 of them for 20 bucks. And as soon as I saw them, I knew right away that I had to get them. I got 2 of these inline submersible pumps. They are 12 volt DC. They draw about 4.5 amps each. Then I got a couple of cheap pre-built motor drivers off the old Amazon. So the plan is to mount these to the hull of my kayak, one on the port, one on the starboard, and then I'll run the line through the hull and I'll mount these controllers in the kayak. So then all I gotta do is twist a couple knobs and be gently propelled across the lake. So as you can see, even with this turned all the way up, see, the pulse width goes to wide open, but it's still not drawing as much as it does when you hook power up directly. You can see it's drawing a little bit more amps and the motor is a lot more aggressive. So clearly this has to do with the design of this motor driver. So to get around it, I'm just gonna hook up a switch that connects both pumps directly to the battery. So when I want full throttle, I can open this up, then hit the switch and I'll get that extra little boost. Alright, so here's the stern of the kayak in question. What I'm probably going to do is either mount them in the crevice, like way back here, or perhaps back here somewhere further down the hull. And where to mount the controllers is, you know, your guess is as good as mine. So when it comes to what I'm going to be using to power all of this nonsense, I'm going to stick with a car battery. Well, now that we've planned the work, it's time to work the plan. I'm thinking I'm going to put the controllers right here. And that'll keep my Shang-Tsins out of the water. Chang-Shin, Chang-Zen. Definitely not Chang-Zhen. Chang-Shin, Chang-Shin, Chang-Shin. So, before we run the wires, let's mount the pumps. What I want to do, I'm going to take maybe a dollop of epoxy, divide it up into 4 dabs. And I think 2 dabs will do you in this case. And we're going to affix this pump right here. Here they are affixed. Ran into a little issues. Turns out a dollop wasn't enough to do you. So I ended up tacking them down with my Scotch weld, and then I just kind of ran a little bead of epoxy along the inside. So now the idea of mounting them in this specific spot is they're lower than the lowest point of the hull to give them a little bit of protection if I run aground. And also, when the time comes to update this design, I have a little area to come in and I should be able to pop these right off like nothing. So my plan is just to run the wire right up the side, and I'll probably use a little Scotch weld to just a super tiny dot just to tack the wires there so they stay. Looks about right. Beautiful. Alright, so now the time has come. I have a dirty little secret to share with you guys. I'm going to be using these. Now I absolutely hate these things. I bought a box of them back in 2018 just to try them out, and I didn't like really much of anything about them, so I haven't used them since. But I'm thinking they'll be just fine for this project. Yeah, I think that'll be good enough. Alright, so now that the wires have been run to the front, there's one thing I forgot. I need to install a switch to give full power to the pumps also. So now the way this switch is going to work is there's power coming in from the battery and then going out to the motor. And I'm just going to put jumpers in between the power coming in and the power going out. And that jumper will be interrupted by a double pole, double throw switch. This bad boy can handle about 20 amps doing $1.25. What I mean when I say double pole, it's basically 2 isolated switches inside of this one housing. So I'm throwing 2 separate switches so I can have the positive on one side, negative on the other side, and turn them both on and off. All right, now I just need to drill some holes for these switches. All right, so here's the deal. We got the clamps going to the battery. They split off into 2 separate power sources. That power will go to one driver, the other power will go to the other driver, and then I'm going to plumb in additional wiring, as we discussed, to tie this switch in as a jumper between these pins. And there's what it looks like all wired up. Alright folks, here we are, all set up, hooking it up for the first time. I paddled away from shore, because I'm that confident it's going to work. A little bit of a spark. Let's start turning up the juice. I hear pumps. We've got movement. uh, so there's several things that I wanted to use this for, and one of them is with this kayak, every time I stop paddling, like right now, you can see we immediately start drifting to one side or the other depending on the wind and the currents and everything else. So I wonder if I just stop paddling and then turn on the opposing motor for whatever direction we're going in, will that help push us straight? No, doesn't seem to be enough. We are just drifting hard. I got that motor wide open right now. All right, so now we're sitting at a standstill, which is one of my favorite things to do out here. Just lay down and let the wind blow me around. But what happens when you do that usually is you end up in the brush on some random part of shore. So it would be nice if these motors were strong enough to just kind of keep me pointed in the right direction as I slowly drift back to where I came from. Sounds like I sucked in a lily pad. Probably should have thought about using protection. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Obviously, this project still has a long way to go, but I think I'm calling it for the summer. And next summer, I will pick up a part 2 where we streamline the design. We saw that it didn't work very good to control our direction after paddling, but it did bring me back to shore very quickly. I just had to tap my paddles in the water to keep it straight. A lot of that has to do with the angle the pumps were mounted at. All things to be revised next season. We'll see you next time. And if we connect power directly, we get soaked. We're just kind of going in circles here.